Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a wedding card that I made for you, or not for you, I made recently, and I just wanted to share it with you. I love the way it came out. It's kind of a cool little design. It's actually one that's kind of inspired by a scrapbook page that I made as part of the Anna Griffin Crop at Home 4 event. And I loved the design so much that I tried to kind of translate it into a card. And so this is what I came up with. And let me show you how it's made. So we start with just a plain white 5x7 card base, and then it's got a matte layer of gold. And so my gold cardstock is precious, so I always get the inside of it. So we're gonna, this is just shy of 5x7, like maybe 1/8 of an inch down is all, because I didn't want too much of the white showing. And then this is Centura Pearl with a white with a touch of gold. And I'm just going to run that through. And this is 5 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I'm going to run it through my embossing folder. And this is let me make sure I got it the right way. This way. It's that Sarah Signature. It's one of my favorites. I think it's from the Tropical collection from forever ago, but it's one of my favorites because it's just kind of a really nice, like, swirly, 3D swirly background, but it gives you a nice kind of all over design. And just center your cardstock in up there. Run it through my MIDI. And see, it just gives you that, it's just a beautiful design. So that's going to layer right on there. Then these designs are, and this is a paper. It's not, you don't want a super heavyweight cardstock. So it's I want to say a 65-pound cardstock. And you just cut a piece that's 4 inches by 2.5, and then it's scored at every 1/4 of an inch. And then you're just going to concertina fold it. And the way that I've found that works easiest for me is I use my fingernails to kind of crease, just to make sure I get a good fold, and just go back and forth. And you want to do this 3 times. So if you do a 2.5 by 4, you can get 3 of them from one strip, a 2.5 inch strip off of a 12 by 12. So that's why I made them 4 inches, because it's doesn't waste too much of their 12 by 12 cardstock or paper. And again, I haven't tried it with the heavier weight cardstock, but I'm gonna say it's not gonna work as well, because once you get them, it will concertina fine, but I don't think you want to go much over an 80-pound cardstock, because if you do, it doesn't like to fan out like that, like you want it to. So you want a lighter, kind of a lighter weight cardstock. And you could use a solid color or a print. I liked this one because I was looking for sort of something to go with the metallic, either a silver or a gold. And this print is actually kind of, I think it's called Sand. I don't know where it came from. I had it in my stash, but it's kind of, I think it's a tan print, but it almost looks gold because it's kind of a shiny finished cardstock. So once you get it all concertinaed, you want to measure and mark the inside. So this is 2.5 inches. So you want to mark it at 1 1/4, which is your halfway point. Okay, because we're going to tie them up. So then just take a little strip of paper that's either, a 1/4 inch or less and about 1 inch long. And I just put a little bit of tacky glue down the length of the little strip. And you're going to wrap it around the card, that right in the middle. So you just kind of set it on there. And as you can see, this is just the gold cardstock that I used. You can use cardstock or paper to wrap these. I used the cardstock, it bends fine, and then it's not really going to show anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But get it wrapped around tightly. And then I have these little quilting clips that I put on there just to hold it, so that you don't have to use your hands to hold it while the glue dries. And we're just going to set that aside. Now do that 3 times. I've already done 2 of them. So we're going to set those to the side and to dry. And then we're going to cut, this is a 1 inch by 6 3/4 inch strip of the gold cardstock. And this is a ribbon threading die. It came with the outer die, and you could use the outer die, but I found it just as easy to cut the 1 inch strip and not use the outer die. And you're just going to put this on, and it literally is exactly the size of the die, or pretty much, right? So, okay, and then we're going to go ahead and ribbon thread this. And I just took a strip of plain white satin ribbon. I'm just going to cut a length of it. And if you cut it at an angle, it's a little bit easier to thread through. And then all you're going to do is go, well, you can thread it however you want, but I liked most of the gold showing. So I just kind of went up and down on the little holes like that. Just make sure you don't twist it so it's straight. For your little fan fold pieces, you could use a print cardstock if you wanted, or a solid, or whatever you want. If you changed up the color scheme, you could do like maybe a balloon embossed, or confetti embossed background with, it's almost Memorial Day, so red, white, and blue little fans, and do something, I don't know, in that color scheme. Or you could do like primary colors for a birthday, or it'd be cute in light blue or pink or green, something for a baby card, I think. So I think there's lots of different things you could use the style for. And when you get to the end, you can just kind of wrap it around and glue it on the back side. So you can cut it off, but you basically just want to glue this down. So I'm just going to put some glue here and put some glue along here. And let's see if I can find something heavy to hold it down. Get that card out of the way. See if this is heavy enough. Yeah, I think I can just set the die on top of it. You basically just want to hold that down so that the glue grabs. And then I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun, because that makes this next step a lot easier. All right, now let's just start putting this card together. So we're just going to glue on our little gold matte layer. Like I said, this is just shy of 5 by 7, so it should fit on there and have just a tiny little hint of the white cardstock underneath showing. And then we're going to put on our embossed panel. There's a little bit, and that was a 1/4 inch down, so there's, because I wanted a bit of that gold showing. Now while that's drying, let's open up our little fans. Oh, that's what I should use to hold that down. So on the fans, you just want to kind of hold that inside and give it a little bit of a bend at the edge right here, a little bit of a crease, so that you're kind of spreading those fans out both sides. And I found if you kind of literally bend it at the band there, it seems to work well. There's one. And just do the same thing on all 3 of them. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we're going to put these on kind of, so it's a 7-inch card, so the first one's going to go at 3.5 inches, and then I just kind of centered them between the other 2, just sort of like that. And you're just going to give it a pretty good glob of glue, hot glue, and then stick your fan right in there. And you want it just inside, so you can just see a little bit of the white on the outside of that. And the hot glue is nice because it gives you a second to get it in the right place, and it also kind of helps, then it hardens quickly. Then you're going to take your piece with your ribbon threading on there, and you're just going to put over the top, and I found it's easiest to kind of shape it a little bit, so you got a little bit of a, you know, kind of a wave pattern, a little bit. And then this is going to go right on top. And you're just going to put a big blob of hot glue on top of each of these and at each end. And then put your ribbon threading on top and hold it down. And this is good for the hot glue because it dries quickly. So that's pretty well held in there. And then I did sentiment, and I just stamped it in gold and then heat embossed it in gold. and put some foam pads on. This is just on white cardstock, and then this is the same gold. And I'm going to put that, turn off my heat gun, I don't need that. I'm done with the glue gun, so I'm just going to put that away before I burn myself. And we're going to go ahead and put well, I'll go ahead and mat my sentiment first. And I thought this was perfect for either a wedding card or an anniversary card. So I was looking for sentiments that were sort of wedding or anniversary-like. And also, you don't have a ton of room for sentiments, so look for, shorter sentiments to fit in the smaller space. If you wanted, I guess you could do a larger one and overlap the fans, but I didn't want to overlap the fans because I liked that decorative element, so I didn't want to hide it. But, I mean, you could. And the first time I did this, I actually did instead of a sentiment on here, I did a monogram in gold heat embossed, which was nice, but it just looked like, I don't know, a little bit plain. So I thought it would look better with an actual sentiment. Now we're just going to center our sentiment right there. And that's it. We're done. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and I don't know if you can see it. I've got little strings from my hot glue. And if you can't get them off, the heat gun will kind of melt them right off. But I can get them off. And once this is hard, you can also respread those fans if you need to. But isn't that pretty? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.